their accents and, their way of speaking sounds every bit St. Lucian to me. But I haven't heard this from any other source. Jaquan, have you gotten anything like that or heard of anything? Yeah? You heard it where? All right. But we have no verification that it is right. So I don't know if anybody has heard about this or you know something substantial about it and you want to share. If that is the case, it would be very, very unfortunate and quite tragic that this should happen. Unless it was somebody doing some DIY, do it yourself, without any requisite training and experience, not a real mechanic. They would understand the load factors involved in different types of vehicles, what kind of jack that you can use, whether, in fact, as a matter of fact, you almost never slide yourself under a vehicle which is supported only by a jack, because it's old news that jacks can slip sometimes, that they can give way, that there can be a little movement that the jack can tilt and topple and the vehicle can. In fact, I actually saw it happen to a gentleman at a gas station in Viewfort many years ago, and he wasn't under the vehicle, which was what was lucky, that he was changing a tire or something, bringing it up, and the jack slipped or whatever, and the vehicle fell on his hand. And I mean, there were people around and they helped. It was a car, so it wasn't to say like it was a truck or something too heavy. And they managed to lift just enough so he could pull his hand out. But I can tell you, I mean, I didn't need him to explain to me the kind of pain that he was in. I could see it on his face, grimacing. I mean, he was in a lot of agony and suffering. So to me, anyone who's a mechanic of any degree of experience would know that if you intend to pull your body underneath a vehicle, you use the jack to get it up, but after that you will put in some rims, some tire rims, you'll put in some wooden blocks or something like that to hold up the vehicle. You don't trust only in the jacks. But like I said, I don't really know the circumstances. The two short video clips, which I'm not going to show, they don't give any context, nothing else. I remember messaging the person back and I said, let me see that. What did I say to him? Let me see. I messaged him back immediately. And, right. And I said to him, where did that happen and when? He said he has no idea for now. I again asked two questions. Is it in St. Lucia and is it current? He said the people sound like Lucians, which I agree. The voices of the people that you hear, the garçon, these sorts of things, they sound like St. Lucians. So if that is the case and a man has lost his life or been seriously injured, what I see there suggests if a car fell on his head and the manner that he looks there, he looks lifeless to me. I want to express my regrets, condolences, sympathies to his family, to his loved ones. And as a matter of fact, to send out some comfort to the people who may have witnessed this, because sometimes those things happen and we don't realize the effect it is having on us. You go around those things, as I've been on accident scenes and crime scenes and so on. And it's only much later, while you're in the heat of it and you're doing it and the adrenaline is up, you probably don't realize this is affecting you. You become, as a father myself, you become hyper protective of your children, like you're afraid something will happen to them, and things that you should allow young boys who comprise the overwhelming majority of my children, to go and have fun and to frolic and in adventures and those sort of things. You see those things and you become protective to the extent that you become controlling, where you can actually frustrate and suffocate and exasperate your children, and it's because you're always fearful that something is going to happen to them, forgetting your own childhood days when your own parents were always worried about you when you go to the beach or wherever it is, go out on any kind of adventure, you climb a tree and they're always fretting about you'll fall down and so on. This sort of things, that's just one of the ways that it affects you. You find yourself overly cautious, extremely cautious on the road. You see it happen and so on, and you have a tire and you get out to jack up your vehicle and you taking precautions that you never took before and consuming a lot of other time. These things, they kind of play on your mind, but of course we all know that in life nothing is guaranteed, and you can find yourself on the bad end of a mishap at any time. Even just sitting here hosting this program, you have no guarantee that something weird and bizarre might just happen, and then it takes you out or whatever. So condolences to whoever, if he is in fact deceased, to his bereaved and his loved ones, and like I said, any who may have witnessed this. Now, where was I now? There is a news item which came out pertaining to something that I spoke about yesterday, about the police probing a leaked internal alerts about threats against officers. That's how it is headlined on St. Lucia Times. And although I did speak fairly extensively about it, but since it has been crystallized, editorially crystallized in a news item, it says, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, RSLPF, is investigating the leakage of an internal document detailing numerous social media death threats against officers. The threats followed Saturday's police-involved shooting of Maxwell Leo alias Hennessy. Maxwell, described as known to the police and the notorious gang leader, was on bail for a firearm possession charge when he sustained the fatal gunshot injuries. According to the police document, verified as authentic by St. Lucia Times and which has gone viral on social media, there is a strong possibility that members of a named gang would retaliate for Duncan's death. Now, I don't know why they say Duncan, because they're giving the name of the guy as Maxwell Leo in one of the opening paragraphs, and then they're referring to him as Maxwell Duncan a little later down. Maybe he's Leo and so on, and he's also, there's always the aliases and so on. The document included photographs of some alleged gang members, all of them residents of Marigot. What I read suggested that there were a couple of them from Dennery, by the way. There were a couple of names which I associate with Dennery, having been born there. I think there was a Vidal, and it definitely says the person from Dennery. I can't remember if there was a Regis or something like that, but there was a couple of them who was from Dennery. But anyway, that's small potatoes. It also outlined the measures to deal with the threats against officers. A senior police officer who spoke anonymously to St. Lucia Times condemned the leakage of the internal police document entitled Law Enforcement Alert, declaring that the leak would have come from a police officer. The senior cop explained that heads of departments would have received the alert and would likely have shared it with their staff. This was an intelligence report meant for officers, not for the public, the senior official explained, adding that the police commissioner should do all in her power to get to the bottom of the matter. The probe into the leaked document comes amid a surge in deadly gun violence, primarily responsible for 44 homicides so far in 2024. Just last week, the police announced the seizure of 12,319 rounds of ammunition and 21 illegal firearms between April and June this year. In April, officers recovered 9 firearms and 117 rounds of ammunition, 4 firearms and 34 rounds of ammunition in May, and in June, 8 firearms and 12,168 rounds of ammunition. A police Facebook post described the seizures as, quote, impressive. However, some members of the public have complained bitterly about the court granting bail to individuals police charged with such offenses. According to them, bail amounts to a slap on the wrist in an environment where gun crime has become a serious national concern. The one other thing which I wanted to add to that was when I watched the news, almost across all the TV stations that have their news in the time slot of between 7 and 8 p.m., 7:30, going up to 8 in most cases, they all interviewed the residents of Ancillary, where the police shooting took place. The man was from Marigot, it seems, but it seemed the shooting took place in Ancillary. And what I heard generally seemed to be a predominant, if not overwhelming, outpouring of expressions of support and grief and sympathy for the guy who was killed by the police. Like almost everyone was saying what a nice person he was, how helpful he was, how they feel so sad, that, he's lost now. He's been taken out, he's gone. The manner in which he was killed by the police and all of that. There generally seems to be that kind of goodwill, even posthumously, towards him, about him, because he helped people. He was so helpful to people. He was described by more than one person, if I recall correctly, as being the one who held things together. Like he was a kind of a glue for his neighborhood, for his community, or whatever. Why do I find this a little bit disturbing? Because this is a known tactic of criminals, especially those who are involved in the drug trade, in smuggling, in contraband, in the gang leaders and so on. They often use philanthropy, that kind of niceness towards the people around them, the people that they interact with. They do good for them because these guys are often rolling in dough. They're flush with cash as the proceeds of their criminal activities. The drug dealing and the drug distribution and smuggling and all the criminal things that they do. They got a lot of money. And so they understand and they utilize what I call Robin Hood psychology quite a lot. They buy school books for everybody's child in the neighborhood. They give money to people who need, whether it's boards or post of plywood to fix their house, those who just starting. They help the young men of the place to get vehicles, or help them with maybe if they fall behind in their payments and so on, with some installments. And if ever you even try to tell them thanks, they'll get a pat on the back. Man, don't worry that, man. We have to help one another. We have to help one another. Don't dig nothing. They earn your affection. They earn your trust, your loyalty, and so on. You're gonna turn against those fellas? You're gonna give up those fellas to the police and so on? What do you get from the police? And a man, is helping you, buying uniforms, helping you to get a vehicle, doing a whole lot of things like that for you. And often people do not think about what really is the psychology that is being employed and deployed to rope them into the embrace of affection and of fierce loyalty to these people and so on. I don't condemn the people whose loyalty is bought like that. You know how it is in life. The hand that feeds you is the hand that you most likely will lick and not bite. So police come looking for those fellas. They're in the community. You ask people, nobody saw them. I don't know. It's hiding under somebody's bed whose electricity was going to cut off, and he paid the bills for them, seemingly not wanting anything in return. They want him to continue paying the bills and to help them when they need that kind of help. What I want to speak now is, that is why it is so important for the police to continue to work on things like community policing, strengthening and deepening the nexus and the bonding that they have with the communities in which they operate. That the police don't just show up in military fatigues with big intimidating guns and so on when they come up, but that the police will stick with, and if they have abandoned it, to get back with the fundamentals of community policing. I mean, growing up in Monrepo, one of the great joys that I had was watching cricket matches. The WEN playing field was not yet. It was a relatively tiny playing field just by the Monrepo Combined School. But to watch cricket matches between, how they call that team, New Park, and Monrepo and Central and this team and that team and police. when police were playing, you would see names like Herman Gill Francis, who featured tall on that, and police then used to be strong, you know. In cricket at least. I mean, they were fairly good in football too, but mostly cricket. And it was a time to see police in a different element, not in uniforms and like fearsomeness and so on, but playing sports, having a drink with people afterwards, chatting, laughing with people. There was that sense of connection to cops as people, not just aloof, removed, remote figures in a foreboding, intimidating uniform and weaponry and all of that. Of course, if somebody stepped out of line, even if they were not in uniform. But you know, in that kind of setting, they got the support of the citizenry, of the community. There would hardly be anybody who would give anybody right against the police and give the police wrong. You did something, people would immediately upbraid and castigate you. They would support the police, morally encourage them. If they had to give help in subduing somebody, they would do. There was that kind of intolerance of lawlessness, because there was the recognition of police as being one of us, and they were. The police, you knew them. They were your cousin. They were somebody in the community that you grew up with. Somebody you said a cheerful hello to on your way to school, whatever it was. They were the, and I'm not saying that they're not that or we don't have police this way. But that is the only thing that will give any prayer of a chance of the citizenry leaning towards the side of law enforcement, of the law and security people of our country, the police, and not on the side of criminals and lawbreakers who threaten the very essence and definition of our society. That's why their behavior is called antisocial behavior. It is anti-society behavior. And the fact that it employs good psychological stuntmanship, good psychological trickery and so on. I've told you before, you know, marketers and people who are involved in promotion and so on, we don't call it trickery. It's not regarded as crime, but they have these techniques to play on your mind. They have the way when they pour that drink, it doesn't matter what the doctors have been telling you about sugar and diabetes. When you see this sparkling drink is pouring over cubes of ice in a tall glass and so on, and you hear that tinkling, ding, 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 and when somebody takes a sip, they let out us, you know, this kind of, you know, which is almost akin to sexual pleasure. They know what they're doing. They're using audio-visual hooks and things to engage your mind that this is all about pleasure and something refreshing and something that will quench your thirst and something that will give you energy and whatever it is. You know, it will solve all your things. When in fact the doctors who don't have the benefit or don't utilize those things, they don't have the funding that every piece of advice they give you, it has to be done like a commercial to counter that sort of thing. You're more inclined to believe what the marketer and the promoter and so on is telling you. You know, the beverage and the soda company and so on. And likewise, the police will probably never have the resources or the PR department that can come up against this heart-winning devices and tactics and strategies by the criminals. But we have to have our heads screwed on, because I'm telling you, it's not just in St. Lucia. We heard the story about this guy in Colombia who was killed many, many years ago, maybe 30 years ago, Pablo Escobar. You know, where was he? In Cali or Medellin? How this guy had virtually bought the whole city, you know, and maybe a couple more, because he was using his drug money in a way to win people's hearts. Call it bribery, call it whatever, but it was effective. He was helping people in ways that mattered to them. He never maybe finished high school himself, but he would pay university cost for people and so on. Police and all of that were turning a blind eye, looking the other way, being corrupt and so on, losing file and all of that thing in order to protect Pablo Escobar, because they were getting benefits from him. It took a very determined, it took political will, it took a specially selected squad of police officers, you know, who were determined that they were standing up for their country and that they were going to capture this guy. In the process, there was a shootout and he ended up being killed. We're hearing the same thing happening in Mexico with the guy they call El Chapo. Joaquim Guzman, I think is his name, of the way he bribed. Well, Mexico, I'm told, is a place which is a cauldron and a hotbed of corruption and bribery and so on of law enforcement. But apparently, El Chapo took it to stratospheric levels and so on. In St. Lucia, I don't know if it has reached that, but I have heard things about some departed alleged drug dealers and criminals and so on. I have heard things about the late Wally. I have heard things about the late Gabu. I have heard things about the late Bonnie. And the way those fellas would insinuate and embed themselves into the social fabric of the country. And it's not necessarily in St. Lucia when you talk about the Caribbean islands, funding carnival bands here and doing this. Even musicians who are not into crime, as you understand, but you want to produce some music. You know how difficult and how many hoops you have to go through if you have, some songs that you want to put on wax and produce and to market them. These guys would help them out and fund them and so on. Carnival bands that are struggling and so on. They would do a lot of things for them. And so there was always that base around them of people who were not necessarily involved in the crime. Although it's very easy to see when a man does those things for you. When a man does those things for you, and he tells you, can you hold this package on your car for me and so on, put that under your seat for me. You won't even ask him what's in it. You have that sense of bonding and loyalty and gratitude to him and so on. There are a couple of those guys who, I knew personally. Sometimes they had known older siblings of mine and so on. And when I met them, they were always so very nice. A couple of them used to ask me, are you okay? And you can look, they're waiting for, if you need any help, you can come check me, if every time you need any help with something. One of them, I remember my vehicle breaking down on the road at some point, and the guy stopped, and he was like using his cell phones there already at the time. Can't even remember, but to make calls for me to get the help that I needed. And he stood there until whatever help it was that came, he had a companion with him. And I couldn't believe a guy for what I was hearing was just so friendly. In the end, he told me, I know yourself very well, long time and so on. So I figured maybe that was it and so on. But I was so civil and so polite and so nice. If even on that level you can feel a certain sense of how would I call that? A certain sense of affinity for or with that person, you can imagine if the individual bankrolls you in a substantial way. We have to be very careful in our country not to fall for devices and contraptions. I know most times I speak of them in the context of the politics, but in the context of everyday life and in the battle against crime and our efforts to shore up the security of this country, we have to not let ourselves be blown away and swept away too easily. Yes, we have needs, we all do, but let us ask ourselves, what are our greatest and most important and longest lasting needs? What are the things that are really, really important, which if we lose them, there is no hope of retrieving them, there is no hope of saving ourselves? I think I've said enough, maybe too much on that. We're past the time for a commercial break. Let's take it. When we come back, a couple more things I want to talk about, and the phone lines will be open for your calls and to read your messages.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Machinery is behind Kamala. She will be
the man, the voice.
Trust me on that, comrade. Well, to you, my fellow Denarian, residents in the US who sent me that message yesterday, thanks for the reassurance. It will be up to the American people to make the right decision, the best one for their country. They cannot collectively be fools. We are looking at things from the outside or even from the inside, believing that they would be crazy to do this or crazy to do that and so on. But, my friend, I think the American people will do right by themselves and by their country. I only express my opinion when I say I am of the view and of the feeling anything and anyone but Trump. That is my personal passion about this guy and what I have observed of him and so on. And I think it is a view shared by many people. But there is an online article that came out in Newsweek, it is, in Newsweek. And maybe I can read it. It's not very long. Let's hope I can get the link. And the article is titled, Kamala Harris is Donald Trump's worst nightmare for 5 reasons. It was published and updated yesterday, July 22nd. It was written by Khalida Rahman, the national correspondent for Newsweek. And here's how it goes. Vice President Kamala Harris is the leading Democratic contender to take on Donald Trump after President Joe Biden's decision to bow out of the presidential race. On Sunday, Biden announced he was quitting the race after facing pressure in the aftermath of his debate with Trump in late June, when his poor performance magnified concerns about his age and fitness for office. In his letter on social media, Biden, 81, endorsed Harris, telling his fellow Democrats that, quote, it's time to come together and beat Trump, end of quote. The White House contest had been between 2 elderly white men, but Biden's decision means Trump, 78, will likely face off against the much younger Harris, 59. She would make history as the first woman of color to become a major party's presidential nominee. Here are several reasons why Harris could pose a real problem for Trump in November. Fundraising. Harris is the only Democratic candidate who can take control of the Biden campaign's huge war chest. The Biden campaign has already formally amended filings with the Federal Election Commission, so Harris can use the funds if she secures the Democratic nomination. Quote, specifically, because Biden and Harris share a campaign committee, the vice president and her running mate can continue using the campaign's existing funds for the general election if she is on the Democratic ticket as either the presidential or vice presidential nominee, end of quote, said Trevor Potter, founder and president of Campaign Legal Center, in a statement. Federal Election Commission filings show Trump's campaign has more cash on hand than Biden's. The president's campaign ended June with $95 million raised, while Trump's ended the month with $128 million, Reuters reported. All right. But Democratic donations have flooded in since Biden dropped out of the race and threw his support behind Harris. ActBlue, the Democratic fundraising platform, reported the biggest fundraising day of the 2024 cycle on Sunday, saying small dollar donors had contributed nearly $47 million since Harris announced her candidacy. Quote, small dollar donors are fired up and ready to take on this election, end of quote, the ActBlue account wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Next subheading, age. Trump has spent months hammering Biden over his age and fitness for office. But now Trump will be the oldest nominee in U.S. history if Harris or someone younger replaces Biden at the top of the Democratic ticket. Polling has shown that many Americans think Trump is too old to serve a second term. So let me just add my own bit here. This is where I think the script gets flipped on Trump. You were after Biden's age and how he's old and Sleepy Joe and this and all that. And all of a sudden you find yourself up against somebody 20 years younger than you are. You know, a 59-year-old. Let's see how he's going to deal with that, since he's been placing so much of his weight and his emphasis and staking so much on the dismissal and the disparaging of Sleepy Joe. Let's see what he'll come up with for Kamala Harris. 3. Democratic enthusiasm. Well, that's another subhead. Harris's candidacy may reignite enthusiasm among young voters, a crucial block in the 2024 race and one where Biden was losing support. Quote, Harris will likely reinvigorate the energy and enthusiasm behind the campaign. One can feel that already, end of quote. Grant Davis Reha, a political science professor at Syracuse University, told Newsweek. Quote, the early fundraising is a good sign for her, end of quote. But Thomas Gift, an associate professor of political science and director of the Center on U.S. Politics at University College London, told Newsweek that Democrats, quote, seem to be rushing to convince themselves that Kamala Harris is now a popular choice for president, end of quote. Harris was the first major Democratic candidate to flame out of the primaries in 2019 when she previously ran for president, Gift said. It is also ignoring the fact that for most of the last 3.5 years, Harris's approval numbers have been at least as low as Biden's. A real problem for Harris is that her support looks like it's coming from the top down by Democratic elites, whereas support for Trump is emerging from the bottom up by the GOP base, he said. Next subheading, background. Harris would make history as the country's first black and South Asian woman to top a major party's ticket if she secures the Democratic nomination. She is an historically significant candidate, Reha said. Meanwhile, she will likely contrast her record as a state attorney general against Trump's status as a convicted felon. He was found guilty in his hush money criminal trial in New York City earlier this year, but has yet to be sentenced. The prosecutor approach is really about just deconstructing an issue, Harris told CNN in April. It's presenting and reminding folks about the empirical evidence that shows us exactly how we arrived at this point. Trump can't hide from this stuff. Next subheading, abortion rights. Democrats have sought to make abortion rights a top issue in November's election. As a woman, Harris is well primed to attack Trump on the issue ahead of the first presidential election since Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court. Trump has taken credit for the end of Roe because he appointed 3 justices in the court's conservative supermajority, but has stopped short of supporting a national abortion ban if he wins back the White House. He says he believes decisions about abortion should be left to the states. Harris has been particularly vocal on abortion rights, saying in June that everything is at stake with reproductive health rights in November's election. Abortion is a winning position for Democrats, so they will bring it up frequently to keep Trump on the defensive, Paul Goren, professor of political science at the University of Minnesota, previously told Newsweek. I think that's about it for this article. So there are people who believe that Kamala Harris comes with some advantages that can play against Trump, and that she's unlikely to be the weak link in the Democratic chain that many people believe she could be because of approval numbers and things of that kind. This is the real issues. Let's open the phone lines for your calls and also to read some of your messages on this and other matters. While I wait your calls, there was something else I just wanted to briefly talk about. But you can call, okay? I'll interrupt myself. Given those kinds of revelations, which are nothing short of damning, because he doesn't, like some people, just come up with allegations or report allegations of that and so on. He comes with documentary evidence, with proof that Richard Frederick had on his program about the Alan Shastney administration's renting of private property, private real estate for government offices, and how so much of the rent was granted to companies in which Alan Shastney had a direct stake, was a shareholder, because it was a family affair between his father, his mother, his sister, and himself. And in almost every case, he had at least 25%. Do we have a call? Okay, let's take that call. Call, I'm sorry about that. I thought it was just a yeah, no, sorry. I thought Jaquan had just run a test on the line, so I heard the ping.
All right.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes. I want to make a contribution concerning drain in the sir.
Concerning what?
That's my concerning drain.
Drains, okay.
Drain. That is contribution I make last week, and I want to continue again.
Canal.
The canal you can place right? We mentioned that one in Castries, and I see they clean it Sunday. You can see they're doing more mess, try to see they can live it by cleaning the side of it, but the drain will still full up because they're not cleaned by marketing board go down. Now, that's the one. Let me get another one. That is the one we deal with, the Calisac one. You see, Bexon always flood. You listen to me, right?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
All right. And then we are wondering how Bexon going to flood because they said there is a farmland to go all the way by Cicero, to go all the way by the Badlin. Now, you see when you reach by Libwe, that's what you can see the river turn. To me, in the future, that will cost government cheaper. In the future, to I maybe have to buy the land that passing by JK to go down straight to buy
the land that's passing by who?
Because if the river will go straight, that's how we'll not flood again in the future. You understand what I say?
No, I didn't quite understand. You said the land that passed.
Let me explain to it again.
No, hold on. You said the land that passed by J something, JD or something?
No, I say by JK.
JK, okay.
Have his depot there.
Okay.
If they cut that straight to reaching by Cicero in the sea, because they have it continue beginning in the sea where the main highway passing there, and join it by Bexon turning. So when the river blocked there, you see all Bexon have to be flooded. The river is like a L.
Okay.
By Libwen.
I don't even know where by Libwen is. I'm sorry.
Okay, that is a flat by Bexon. That's the Bexon flat. When you do the new main road there between Cadillac going to Bexon side, that is Libwen. Long time ago, Libwen is by the only one that by the river self.
Okay.
So, all right, let me leave that one for a while. I believe everything I say, the ministry listen to me and they start to do anything. Let me give another one again. That's about Bois I didn't know they have a marigot in Bois but let me tell you where the marigot is. You see, when you see the in the where you by Bois by Estella, there's a when you go a little higher, they look like they have a sum going down, right? You have to do that sum?
They have a what going up? I'm not hearing you clearly all the time.
When you live in Castries going up by SNS.
Yeah, I know inside there. Down that side there, I think I've been there because Hunter Francois used to live somewhere out there. I don't know exactly what you're talking, but I know the seaside on that side of the road, yeah.
All right, okay, by where that man have the tire thing there, Rasco. That is behind Rasco there. There is a swamp to go by the sea. I didn't know they have a small beach and they have a marigot. I understand again, all that was farmland. If they open that marigot, let me tell you how government can make profit of that marigot. Government can just give the contractors the sun and open that marigot. I remember a hurricane passing and all by Sunville, but it was full of water. And there is a marigot. That marigot is blocked. They have tried to open that in future, give the contractor the work, they will take the sun for the payment, and they open that day to reach all the way by Badawans.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to think of that because that is a sum. That's a sum that have full of mosquitoes at time. It's a good thing people don't live in that area.
Well, the very name Marigot means a backwater, so it's kind of like a place.
That's why I give it the name Marigot because I didn't know they have a
in Denry where the Daito is there and so on in that area. As children, we used to
when you go by the sea,
we used to say Naibo Maigo, So I mean,
we call Marigot the Marigot. They have a Marigot, but I call that Marigot because that is blocked and that is looking like the sea can going in if they're open and the water will come out by all the way by the water comes down through to the sea. It will costing government money for development like this, but in future, the place develop. Where any place develop coming, government always no money. They will think it take a lot of money to open the Marigo and change it to reach all the way by Wadons. But in future, all down there develop. But they can't develop now because it's expensive, because the people see water coming there all the time, they're full of water, people not investing their money in the area. But with the Marigo is open, it's called development. That's how I continue on drain until I feel satisfied. Drain is an important development in St. Lucia. You listen to me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
All right, and I have another and a small one. That one not very. That one not. We are a little hashing, but that one is important to us. The road. They have what they call road infrastructure. I don't know how they call it again. But all the name, only what I see we're looking for is benefit. You see, road in St. Lucia. I don't ask to build it like the airport, but I believe the people that used to build the road before, they will take in sun. You see, when the crushers put the smaller dust, not the sun one, the dust one, like the small fine stone. They used to add that in the tar. That's what you call in asphalt. When you mix with stone, you call it asphalt. But they need to get it. But before that, you call it tar.
So, what's the point?
Sun in the tar, and that to me, that sun is drying the tar, and every year, every 2 years, every year, all the road full of drains, full of potholes, as you call it. The person that mixed that tar, you have to stop put the sun in it, because the sun that caused that tar to die, and after that you see all road have hole, because after the road get in the wind, the water, and the sun, the asphalt come back dry. Take it for yourself. I can give you a neighbor place in Roseau. Some places millet, them road make a long time, and you see after time, the sun, you see the tar coming up, and the asphalt. Most of the places dry because of too much dust.
So all right, you mentioned Roseau and Millet, where it seemed to be lasting.
I mentioned the Roseau.
Hold on, my friend. You're always going a little too fast. Okay, my friend.
Okay. The quality of the asphalt.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you see, anytime I try to engage him, like, he believes, he talks up a little quicker and so on, and so I can't really get to him. Roads have a lot of little different variables and vagaries that go with them, What is the extent of vehicles, and the frequency, the amount of vehicles, the weight of vehicles, what they call axle weight that it has to bear in a day? There'll be a lot more of that in Castries than there would be in Millet and in Roseau and those places. Anyway, we have a call on the line. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hey, Shelton.
Hey, what's up? Well, I meant to call you today. Good for the reminder. But we'll talk after.
Okay. The guy that talk about Libwe. The Libwe River is going right into the New Bridge River.
Okay.
The one that goes by Jackie, it passes by where Limburg was, and then it goes right, the same place you talk about by Peter's Company. It goes on by Kentucky, where they have the Kentucky Fried Chicken there now.
Right.
And it goes in the valley, and then it goes and joins. It passes underneath the road, and it goes into that other main river, which we call the Labushi. Now, one of the problems I have, because I'm from Cicero, so I've seen the flood before. But one of the problems, Shelton, the river, that place used to be deep. And it used to take a lot of water. Now, when you had, it was after Debbie or one of them, then we have a lot of trees went down, a lot of silt that came down. So you find the river is not deep anymore. Sometimes you find a bridge, you find trees that block up by Libwe. Now, the other thing too, while we say if you put the river straight, my brother, you don't temper rivers, Sometimes you make a river straight. Go only past you try to make it go straight and go back the same place,
And not only that too, straightening rivers and so on, it means that now you are facilitating the river in times when there's rainfall.
More pressure.
Yeah, the flow, the rate of flow and the force of that water and so on can end up doing a lot more damage,
What happens, Shelton? The Labushi, we call him the Labushi by Hess. That is below sea level. So the moment water comes, they have to fight to push out the sea.
Exactly. So that's why you have a Maigo. Yeah.
And then you find the water have to back up. Because Lamu level, more about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shelton, I was one of those who actually a lot of people didn't make noise about it. And I find it was discomforting, the location of the traffic department. It is so tedious to get there. Tell my problem. Up to now, I cannot understand why this government have not taken that out of there. They must have better places, better location, with more vehicular access. If you get an accident and you're going to report an accident,
yeah, but maybe
is a problem, you know.
Yeah, maybe they had entered into lease arrangements for how many years, and then you go and you move from there, and you still have to pay them. So perhaps they're saying, okay, we're there already.
It is a problem to enter there, you know.
Yeah.
On foot.
Yeah.
Now, when you enter there, you have to go back up, like you're going into town to go back down, you know.
Yeah.
We cannot, that cannot move there. That thing has to move there.
But let me ask you something, Frank. I was about saying that when your call came in. How come Richard Frederick put out all that information with documents and receipts and contracts and lease and all, and he put up, which is so damning, which points to conflict of interest, which comes to questions about integrity in public life and those kind of things. And you have not heard anything in terms of a response and pushback. They own everything about 1.4 billion and CIP and this and halls of justice and all. How come I don't know if you have, but I have not heard any response in the manner that they're accustomed to responding and to making allegations of their own. What do you think of that?
Well, the opposition have not been one who answers questions.
That's true.
Because it's about 2 years now. I'm asking all the surrogates of the United Workers' Party, tell me or show me your path to victory. Your path to heaven.
Or to answer questions about the £2,000 a night hotel stay in England.
I asked this question and no answer. I asked the question about the money, the vaccine money. They will not answer that. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't even need answers. I need the government that I voted for to act. Have the Attorney General, the ethics, the Integrity Commission,
the Special Prosecutor.
Something has to be done.
Yeah.
It cannot be like that. Because I spoke about that when the commissioner at the time said that that was the best suited place to hold to put the traffic department. I went up in steam. I spoke about it. That thing not supposed to be there, my brother. That is too dangerous. I don't know if they're waiting to finish by headquarters and they'll go back to the normal place. I don't know. But again, my government I voted for supposed to tell me, you know what? You campaign against that. You spoke about that, but be comforted. We're going to do something. Something going to happen, and the place is going to be moved. So that's how I will get comfort. You have to tell me something. So whether it's the press secretary, the Norbert, that's the one in charge of the police, they have to tell me why they still leaving the public at risk in that place.
I mean, I would have thought since Thursday they would have come out, with their fangs bared and their claws extended to tear into Richard Frederick for those things he said about the rental and the huge amounts and the millions all going to Alfiona investments and Alfiona properties and this and that, and all of them is a split between Alan Chasney, his wife, his two children.
That is Donald Trump, That's typical Donald Trump.
I mean, I'm saying Alan, Michael Chasney, Alan's mother, Alan and his sister, I mean, yeah.
We have typical Trump and Donald Trump, but that's what Donald Trump did.
Yeah.
His son, his daughter, everybody got a piece.
Yeah.
While he was president. Remember, Ayla? Anyway,
thanks a lot. I'll give you a call later, okay? Yeah. All right, real issues. Jaquan, we overtime for the commercial break, so let's take it, and when we come back, we'll take more calls.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
also had
The man.
sponsorship of many in Bruceville. Coke in Jamaica had similar history. Remember, many died protecting him. Brico sponsored school bags filled with books. A deceased man told me that he has to use the system to survive. All right, that's what I said about how the criminals know how to ingratiate and endear themselves, to the populace and to people, especially in their neck of the hoods, their neighborhood and their communities and so on. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Concerning Alan Shastney and his family, that is exactly what the Integrity Commission was established to prevent. And that is exactly why they never revealed the assets to the Integrity Commission. And too much liberty is given to this man to break our laws and escape. Because these people believe, because of the so-called pedigree, they could break our laws and get away with it. So this man's prime ministership was based on conflict of interest. It was all about the Federal Federation of Families, and he never had the interests of the country at heart. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know, I will just say that I just find it strange. There seems to be what is often termed the deafening silence from Alan Shastney and the UWP on this whole matter of the rents arrangements to private entities that were owned entirely by his family, in which he always had at least a 25% stake. His father 25, his mother 25, his sister 25. And, without any tendering process or anything inviting expressions of interest to anybody for the provision of office space to the government or anything, direct awards again, just, I don't know. I mean, they're coming out to defend themselves? That will strike you as strange? We have a caller on the line. Hi, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shelton, to your viewers and listeners.
Yeah, how are you doing now, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm just hoping you'll help me answer a question. How come Richard put out all this information and we're not hearing any response, any pushback, anything from Shastney and the Flambeau, to say, well, this is not true, this is not how it worked out and so on?
Come on, Shelton. You know how they are. They're sitting back waiting for the Prime Minister to say change your rail again. That's the only talking point, my brother.
All right. Okay.
I just want, you say it, I just want to reiterate it because, you need to continue reminding people. Those of us who have some sense already know that this is basically in contravention of our laws, right? The Prime Minister at the time he came in, he found that some government offices were being rented by his father. That's fine. He has shares in it. He was supposed to either divest and declare those assets to the Integrity Commission. 3 years was spent asking them. Among those were Gail, Estefan, Alan Shastney, Dominic Fede. There were quite a few of them who never declared their assets to the Integrity Commission. So now it is on the special prosecutor and whatever investigations. When we look at the chain of things the chain of events and the transaction chain, we have to take more people into account than Alan Shastney. The Integrity Commission, I'm talking about the board at the time, would have to account to why most of them were appointed at the behest of the Prime Minister. So obviously you'll find that they would not want to do anything. And we all know how Alan Shastney is. The master, do as I say. You can do as I do, but as long as you do as I say, we're fine. So I think we need to think carefully about what happened during those 5+ years of governance and ensure that none of this ever happens again. I know we can guarantee it will not happen between 2021 and 2026 because Philip J.P. and his cabinet ministers, quote in local parlance, they're not on that. Philip is a man of integrity, and if you juxtapose him to Alan Shastney, that's night and day. Colors be reversed always, but it's night and day. So
be nice for once.
But it's plain to see, and I think that's the reason you're not hearing anything. They really have no answer to that. And what next to expect from them is to attack someone close to Philip J.P., whom they believe that may have a low offense, as they say, to try to destroy this government.
Omun Pakliba.
Yes, exactly. Well, anyway, Shelton, have a good afternoon, and to your viewers and listeners.
All right, you as well. Okay, thank you very much for calling. All right, 487-9849. I get that right, Jaquan? 487, 2 years you've been saying another number, but 487-9849. I'm getting a call on the switchboard, and I see a call coming in from Honorable Richard Frederick. All right, let's take Honorable Richard Frederick. This got to be dynamite, He's got to be dynamite. And I feel...
Daniel, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing okay. I'm in the mood to be blown up,
You're in the mood to be blown up?
Yes, sir.
Shelton, how can you argue with the truth?
Yeah, that's true.
You cannot argue with the truth. The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
But
in St. Lucia, we have something saying, so we need to put the bagay.
Yeah. And I don't understand. People are coming with all sorts of things. Shelton, as far as you know, Shelton, when did the traffic department go move into those buildings?
I was out of the country. I plead the fifth.
Because their contention is Chasney met all the offices there.
Not true at all.
That is a blatant untruth.
I know that cannot be true.
That is a lie. A lie of total extremities. Now, my thing is, you see those leases, what they do is government, except Shasney, government does not rent for more than 2 or 3 years at a time. But what happened is, after Shasney kept renewing the leases, he was adding to them. He added to them. It is a fact. And he has 25% shares in the companies from which government is leasing. How can that be ethical? How can that not be conflict of interest at the very least, if not corruption?
So he's extending the lease, and then he's also going beyond the scope of what the initial leases were. He's adding more properties and more
premises. When you tell me you take the traffic department and you put in 2 areas there, the traffic department alone is about 22,000 a month.
Oh my!
Just the traffic department. You understand?
Yes. I think we understand well why certain people were so desperate to get their hands on the levers of political power in this country, because they were able now to leverage it to their private and personal, not just advantage, but aggrandizement. I think that is what, and why they are so desperate to come back again.
Exactly. Now, Shelton, I showed in the government records, the companies next to it is the name Sir Michael Chasney.
Yes.
And taking it on face value, one would want to believe that all the premises belong to Sir Michael Chasney. But Sir Michael Chasney has the equal shares as Alan Chasney.
Right. And even then, questions of ethics would arise as to how come the father of a sitting prime minister has become the beneficiary of so much business, from a government that is headed by his son in terms of rents and so on. Are there not other people who have properties that you could rent office space from them?
Now, when you tell me, Shelton, how would any prime minister who has a vested interest in renting their premises to government ever want to build any property for government to relieve them of the burden of rental? That man would just want to demolish.
As a matter of fact,
what happened to the police headquarters where the guys were?
Yes.
Where the guys were. They demolished it, and guess what? Where were the police placed? Who spearheaded the demolition of the prisons and the custody streets? The father. This is absolute nonsense, and it's only in St. Lucia this can happen. Only in St. Lucia. And you know the worst thing? They are the ones that are quick to call corruption.
Of
When
course,
I hear
yes.
my poor people out of total ignorance will say that all the Shastas have already and they don't want again. You
Well,
can't put it.
this is not what we have seen. We have seen
Exactly.
even more avarice and greed and all of that being practiced. Yes.
But let me tell you, we have to open our eyes and ensure St. Lucia belongs to St. Lucians. And I have no difficulty with the average St. Lucian getting a slice of St. Lucia's cake. But when you tell me we have that kind of disparity in the distribution of wealth and resources in this country at the hands of a prime minister who ensures that his friends, family, and foreigners are treated treated very fairly against the interests of the average St. Lucian, it is extremely disheartening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Richard
Okay, my
Frederick.
brother. Take care.
Thank you very much. The Minister responsible for housing and local government, elected member of Parliament for Central Castries, Honorable Richard Frederick, gracing us with a call there right now. Do we have another call on the line? Yes, we have a call on the line. Caller, good afternoon to you. The real issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing?
Well, Armin,
Mhm.
let me tell you, what is it that you said about the truth a while ago, or Honorable Richard Frederick said about the truth?
You should have been listening. Pay attention.
You guys have forgotten. The truth is whatever you believe it to be. You guys have forgotten. So if they peddle that most of these offices were already there, and you choose to believe that this is what is already there, especially if you're a 43%, then that's what it is.
You see, even the definitions, the convenient definitions, the mutating definitions that they give, the mutations mutate themselves, because wasn't it a certain fellow who said to Keith Mitchell that your patrimony is your credit rating? Hold on. Now they're putting something out on their page, accusing the government of having sold Port Castries and Port Soufrière and whatever, and now they're putting on their page that these facilities are our patrimony. So our patrimony has moved to being our credit rating, to being our cruise ports and so on. Tomorrow it's going to be something else, that patrimony, when it is convenient to them. So when they tell you that the truth is what you believe today, tomorrow it might become something, the truth is what the opposition tells you.
Shelton, you do realize and remember that transparency should not be so onerous, and they never said it, right?
Exactly. It hinders development,
Listen, it depends on what side of the seesaw you are. So if you're on the sea side, you say what you want them to believe. If you're on the soul side, you say something else.
Yeah.
But, Shelton, I want to say this. Yesterday, I wanted to surprise you, but that did not happen because I spent a lot more time in a particular area than I should have, really.
You mean you were going to drop by?
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't you?
Yes. No, I spent a whole hour waiting for clearance of a SIM card.
Okay.
That I was told was taking 15 minutes.
Okay.
But when I left there, I crossed Constitution Park and I ran into a senior citizen who I was able to identify by her facial features, but she stopped because she saw me and she wanted to have a row with me. So she says to me regarding the match that she can't wait for, the walk for progress. Okay, she tells me she cannot wait for the walk for progress because she is already making her t-shirts, and on the back of her t-shirt she's putting pensioner because she is a satisfied pensioner. When she was getting a certain amount and missed up, she did not just say missed up, she said, my prime minister came in and he changed that, he upped it, I now have more spending room. And there was another lady with her who said the same thing. But that lady, this pensioner, Shelton, is... So I said to her, but who's your prime minister? Not John Compton, that was your prime minister. She told me, yes, John Compton was my prime minister when he was there. But you see, now, Mr. Pierre is my prime minister. Okay? And I'm very, very satisfied with my prime minister because pensioners. They had no respect for pensioners. Pensioners were disregarded, and she's satisfied. So when all these people who believe the truth to be whatever the truth is want to come and say all they want to say about my Prime Minister, Mr. Pierre, in the last 3 years has touched every single age range. Every single age range has benefited. Whether you were youth, you pregnant, you pensioner, you're middle age, whatever facet you are from, whatever school child, CPEA, everybody is feeling the benefits of what this administration has achieved in 3 years that the truth of the 43 percenters could not have achieved in almost 6 years. Shelton, it's almost 2 o'clock. I gotta run.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Jaquan, if there's no other call on the line right now, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I don't like the way I have to rush and say, the lot of coming, I have to go, you know. Well, thank you very much for another great job, you know, at the controls with the calls. Thank you so very much, you people on the Facebook Live. I really intended to read some of your comments, but just not enough time to do it. So, you know, there's tomorrow, God willing, all things equal, where we can launch back into some of the things that we touched on today. As long as it's a real issue, then we have time and we have the tolerance for it and so on. Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of it. Until next time, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Tuesday, 23rd July 2024 were Double Daily Grand 9, 12, 13, 16. Big 4 2, 0, 1, 6. Big 4 Multi-X 3X. Pick 2 7, 3. Pick 2 Multi-X 2X. 1 off 8, 2, 9. Lucky 3 2